welcome to my channel, Oracle Intuitions. My name is Catherine, and this is your weekly reading for October 30th to November 6th. We're taking a look into the energy of the mind, body, and spirit, as well as relationships, with a closing message from the universe. Please remember that these are general readings. They may not resonate with everyone, but I do recommend that you check out your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs as well. Also, Saturdays, 1 o'clock p.m., we go live. So we'll be doing mini readings on Saturdays at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Thank you to everybody that was able to join in last week. And like I said, these are going to be mini readings. They're not going to be full readings. For those of you that are seeking a full reading, please see my links below. They lead to my website, my Instagram, and my Facebook page. You can also message me at any of those links in regards to any of the organites that you do see in my videos, as I do make all of these as well. And okay, let's get started, guys. Have an amazing week, many blessings, and happy Halloween to those that celebrate. Aries, welcome to your weekly reading for October 30th to November 6th. We're taking a look into the energy of the mind, body, and spirit, as well as relationships, with the closing message from the universe. Please remember that these are general readings. They may not resonate with everyone. However, I do suggest you check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs as well. So let's get into it and let's see what energy is coming through for Aries this week. So for the mind, we have vulnerability. Listen to your vulnerable feelings as they contain wisdom and inspiration, and then pray for strength to focus on your priorities no matter what. All right, body, we have, keep going. Use the energy of any disappointments to fuel your creative project with authentic emotion. And for spirit, we have, listen only to love. Don't allow your fear to distract you from your divine mission. All right, here's the thing, guys. I do feel, okay, the thing is with Aries, you guys have beautiful hearts, but you can put up some walls, okay? I mean, everybody can put up some walls, obviously, right? But I do feel that, sometimes Aries' first instinct in some degree is to react in a more, in a way that can kind of really put up those walls. It can put up some barriers. It can put up some blocks. It almost can appear to be more of an aggressive energy as opposed to, that loving energy. All right. And it's not because of the fact that you are aggressive people in any way, but it can represent the fact of, of that lack of vulnerability. I do feel that, for some of you, there can be those walls that automatically go up, especially if there is a threat of being hurt, or perhaps somebody, bruising the ego, perhaps, in that possibility of losing something in the process. So what I'm getting from spirit is this is really the time to work on that vulnerability within your feelings. It almost feels like be able to open up. Now, this can be within words, this can be within actions. And I feel like for some of you, this can be even opening up to spirit. It almost feels like for some of you, there may be this almost like suspicious thought towards something, like whether it's to spirit, like, are you really listening to spirit? Are you really listening to your inner self? Now, again, remember, this isn't going to apply to everybody, okay? But do take the messages as they, resonate with you, all right? Or whatever aspect that they're resonating with you at this time. So what I'm getting from spirit is it is time to start opening up. Allow yourself to be more vulnerable. Allow yourself to really express yourself in some way, whether this is to people. Maybe this is even being more vulnerable towards some creative project, okay? Or some sort of career move or business move in some way. It almost feels like, get off the surface and start going deep and start allowing yourself to express those emotions. And this even could be within yourself. It almost feels like, when something comes towards you that may be appearing in a more negative manner, there's automatically this wall that goes up that protects you from your own feelings, protects you from your own thoughts. It's like you're just pushing that down, and I'm just going to, plow forward. Now, spirit does want you to move forward, but it also wants you to move forward with that element of love. So try really this week opening your heart. Try opening up your mind. Try opening up to spirit. What I'm also getting here is I do feel that for some of you, this vulnerability Like I said, it could have to do with relationships. It could have to do with, career, business, or perhaps even creating some sort of business on your own. It almost feels like something wants to come forward. Okay. And again, whatever aspect that you're hoping for, whatever it is that you're trying to create, it feels as though it wants to come forward. And you may have even asked for guidance towards, how do I create this, or how do I make this happen? Or even to some degree, why are these things happening to me? Why are doors closing? Or this even could be, how could I make this expand more within this project, this relationship, again, whatever it is. And this is the advice coming in from Spirit. They are asking you to really open up, have that vulnerability, allow yourself the possibility that you could be hurt. Maybe doors will close, whatever it is. However, this, when this comes through, this is always a chance that everybody takes when we start expressing ourselves, whether this is in some sort of way toward a relationship or not. And what I'm getting here is Spirit wants that opening. Okay, Spirit is asking you to. And I do feel that for some degree, those walls aren't really necessary. Sometimes these can also be within a matter of perception. All right. How did you perceive past relationships? How did you perceive past disappointments? Or how did you perceive some sort of past actions, maybe perhaps from others? So this is what Spirit is wanting you to take a look at, and just allow those barriers and those walls to go down. Start really looking at situations and issues with a different perspective. Listen to that love. All right. It almost feels like opening up the heart chakra. Really listen first. Allow yourself some vulnerability, and then keep going. Even if for some reason there is a matter of disappointment coming through, that's okay. All right. You're starting to allow yourself to not have to absorb all of the things that happen. Everybody gets disappointed. Everybody gets into that energy of where things might not, feel the best, or maybe perhaps we're taking a chance towards something without knowing the outcome of it. But what this will do is it also opens you up for new and exciting adventures. It also opens up for new and exciting things to be allowed to come through. All right. Let's take a look and get some clarifying cards and see what is going on. So clarifying cards towards Aries for October 30th to November 6th. Let's see what is coming through. What would Spirit like to clarify? Okay, yeah, Ace of Cups. It's interesting because when we have that vulnerability, and again, we are opening up to love in some way. We're not in that place of defensiveness anymore. We're allowing, it's basically, I'm going to allow this person's energy to come through. I'm going to allow this situation to unfold how it's supposed to unfold. And I'm also going to start giving myself this unconditional love, because when we open up to others, we're also opening up to ourselves. We're learning more about ourselves, how we can handle different situations, how we can be more open and loving towards, things around us, perhaps even our spouses or our friends or whatever it is. All right. But I do feel like it's time for you to open up your cup of love, simply for the fact that this is actually going to be a benefit to you down the line. We also have that Eight of Cups. Yeah, you know what? Here's what I'm getting with that Eight of Cups. I mean, that Eight of Cups is looking at a situation that may have caused some sort of emotional pain. And what I'm getting here is, instead of hanging on to those things, start letting them go. Release them with that element of love, okay? And I know it's hard. I understand that it's hard to really release things from people that may have really hurt us, or maybe situations that we were very disappointed in. However, they weren't supposed to come together for some reason. All right. And that's what we have to recognize. There's that saying that protection can sometimes be rejection. or rejection is protection, right? So that's what we need to also look at. So recognize that the fact that, yes, maybe somebody did hurt you. Maybe perhaps, again, there was some sense of disappointment, but let it go. Time to move forward, recognize it for what it is, and continue filling up your cup of love. You can also just take a look at it and go, maybe I was just, I wasn't ready for that, or I was in a higher place than what I was giving myself credit for. Because a lot of times we forget to recognize that. Sometimes we have disappointment with people, but truly, maybe those people just weren't meant for us simply because their vibration wasn't as high as it could be. Maybe it wasn't matching ours for some reason because we were in a higher place. So that's another way to take a look at things. We also have that Two of Pentacles. So I do feel, it's interesting. What I'm getting here is that for some of you, instead of getting into that place of vulnerability, you try to keep yourself busy. We have that Two of Pentacles coming in, juggling. All right. And it almost feels like you're not ready, or you weren't ready at some point to really accept that vulnerability, or to accept, receiving the emotions, the deep emotions that were needed towards a situation. Maybe perhaps you just kept kind of shoving them down, and distracting yourself with some sort of other element. Again, whether this is keeping yourself busy, keeping things going in the air, it's almost like an excuse. A lot of times we tend to stay busy, all of us as humans, no matter what sign you are, we tend to stay busy when there's things that we don't want to face, or where there's things that we don't want to feel. And I do feel that this could possibly be a habit that you had brought in at some point in time. So again, it is time to maybe perhaps let that go. All right. Stop staying in this element. It doesn't mean that you can't be busy and work towards what it is that you're working on, but also take that time to really look into yourself. Yeah, we've got this Two of Swords coming through. So this is interesting because that Two of Swords, when we're in this place, what we're really doing is we're staying into a stagnant situation. All right. Whether this is, again, within a relationship, work, job, career, whatever it is, Spirit is asking you to keep going. But how do you keep going when you're not actually accepting or looking into the feelings and emotions, or possibly a new perspective towards a situation? If we're in that place where we just keep shoving things down, or trying to bury our emotions, or trying to bury, the true nature of the situation, what we're doing is we're really not going anywhere. We're staying in this stagnant area. So it's really time to take off that blindfold. It's really time to move forward. And that's exactly what Spirit is asking you to do. Yeah, you might even have to look at situations with this King of Swords energy. For some of you, this could have to do with an Aquarius or an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini in some manner. But what I'm also getting here is with this King of Swords, he is very much a person who can be very diplomatic. He doesn't create drama. He just goes in, he says what he needs to say. He sometimes takes an unemotional approach to it. Now, here's the interesting thing, because I know this is a little contradictory. Even though you need to go into your emotions and allow that vulnerability, there are going to be situations that you perhaps are going to encounter, or even look back upon, that really don't need to be handled in that emotional way. They might just be that matter of that King of Swords, who takes that approach of, okay, this is your behavior, this is how you're acting, I don't like the situation, boom, I'm done. Okay. And instead of really absorb it, because it's interesting. Okay. What I'm getting here is, it's interesting. You have so many emotions, you have so many feelings that are wanting to come up, that wanting to surface. It's almost as though the feelings within you, it has that passion, that Aries passion, that fire energy, but they may not be channeled in the direct way that that they are supposed to be channeled. They could be muted in some way, or taken in another direction. So I feel with this King of Swords, it's just handling it in a different perspective, in a different manner. It's like taking a look at a situation, and instead of perhaps acting on it with that passion, take that more diplomatic approach, or take that more I want to say like standoffish approach. Okay, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't say what it is that you want to say, but it just means that instead of, so let's say somebody upsets you, and instead of getting really upset with them, just turn around and go, okay, that's your opinion. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Done. right? Because that's pretty much the way that that King of Swords is going to handle it. He's not going to get emotional about it. He's not going to come out of that energy where things could be misdirected. All right. We also have that Two of Wands. So I really feel here it's time to choose a path. Now, again, this could have to do with relationships. It could have to do with career. But when we get that Two of Wands energy, it's really looking at what's ahead of us. How is it that we want to approach something? And where is it that we want to approach? With that Wands energy, that beautiful fire energy that you have within you, I really feel like you need to follow your intuition. This is the path I want to choose. I'm going to go for it. This is what I feel passionate about. Instead of staying muted within that situation, and again, that Two of Swords energy coming in where things aren't really moving along, you may be in that place of feeling like things are just, stifled. All right, they're just stuck at this time. That Two of Wands energy coming through is really asking you to look at what it is that you desire and start putting that passion towards it. Again, whether this is a relationship, are you staying stuck in a relationship simply because of the fact that you don't really want to move forward, or you're scared to move forward, or there's some sort of fear of being vulnerable towards other situations. All right, but that Two of Wands is saying, look at what you want and start moving towards it. Start opening up your heart to receive what it is that you desire. We have that Four of Cups. Yeah, don't let missed opportunities go by. Don't let things that you're really desiring, really wanting to have this energy. And the interesting thing is when we're not in a vulnerable place, we can give off this energy that we're just not interested, that, we're just not paying attention to it. And with that Four of Cups, I'm also getting here, it's almost like something is coming through. Something is coming through, something that you're seeking, something you're wanting, something you're desiring, something that you may have perhaps been working on or wishing for. But changing that energy is going to make the difference. Changing this energy and allowing yourself to open, instead of, when we're not vulnerable, we are in this Four of Cups energy because we're being very closed off. We're not paying attention. It's interesting because there is this meme that goes around that basically says, with this cup, it's like, just take the freaking cup, dude, right? And she's not paying attention to it. It's like the opportunity is right there, but she's not grabbing it. Why isn't she grabbing it? Because there may be fear. There may be some sort of, energy that's holding her back within her. She's not allowing herself to be vulnerable towards this situation. Yeah, go into yourself. This High Priestess is coming through. Again, I do feel like following your instincts. Instead of holding your instincts back, or perhaps even holding back your spiritual sense or that psychic empathic sense, I do feel that it is time to find out who you truly are within you. Are you somebody who does have these abilities? Are you that High Priestess? Maybe it's time to also open up to spirit. I do feel that listen only to love. I feel like messages for some of you are trying to come through. However, there may be that blockage coming in. You may not be accepting those messages at that time. And we have the Hierophant. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy. That Hierophant, this could have to do with relationships again, because he does represent that traditional priest or that traditional energy. But he also can represent groups. He can represent spiritual path. And again, I do feel like messages from somewhere are coming through. What I'm getting here too is this could also involve group situations. Aries is well known to being that leader. They can take charge of things. They can really move forward. So what kind of leader are you? Are you leading with love, or are you leading with power? Okay, that's another thing to think about. You want yourself to be able to be a better leader by being vulnerable. Sometimes it's okay to say, hey, look, I messed up, or I'm not sure of that next step, or whatever it is. All right. And again, this even could have to do with relationships, but it's being honest and open, but it's also following that traditional sense of allowing ourselves to be more open, being more open to love. And again, I keep getting spirit coming through here in some way. So we also have that Justice card, learning how to balance. So it doesn't mean that you have to turn into, somebody, gushy all the time. But basically what it's saying is have that balance. And this might be that balance between work and home, relationships and career. This could have to do with a balance within yourself, as above, so below. All right. For some of you, this might even have to do with justice of some sort, simply because of the fact that maybe the reason that you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable, maybe perhaps things are not opening up at this particular moment, is simply for the fact that there's an imbalance going on. If you're looking at a situation wanting to seek, I'm going to say revenge, but I don't mean like you're going to go after somebody or whatever it is. But if you're hanging on to that negative energy from past situations, what can happen is it creates that imbalance. And Spirit is asking you again, listen to love. Allow yourself to look at situations with that element of love instead of staying in that element of being closed off or not allowing. So let's take a look at relationships and see what is coming through for you at this time. We're going to be pulling 3 cards from the Oracle of Mermaids, as well as 3 of the Arcanum Tarot. And please remember that relationships do not need to be romantic. They can be friends, family, and co-workers. So let's see what is coming through. Okay. 3, 4, Aries. That one was popping up. Look at this. Transparency. Honest, authentic, genuine, and present. So again, go into that energy of that vulnerability. Allow yourself to be transparent. Allow yourself to be authentic within a situation. All right? Allow yourself to show how it is that you're feeling, or allow yourself to also look at things in a different perspective. We also have that freedom. Independence, self-determination. All right. This is an interesting energy. I'm actually looking forward to the clarifying of this. I feel like for some of you, Aries isn't normally a card that hangs on to situations. It's not like you have to be in a relationship. You're usually not that type of individual. But what I'm almost feeling is starting to allow yourself to look at things within that sense of transparency, or allowing yourself to be transparent with a partner, or allowing yourself to really show some emotion. It almost feels as though for some of you, it's like, I'm not even going to bother getting into this conversation because I know where it's going to end. Okay, you're putting up those walls, you're putting up those blocks. Maybe perhaps you're thinking, I don't know if I should go towards this relationship, or I should allow this relationship to come in, because of the fact that, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, maybe perhaps in other relationships, maybe perhaps a current one, or one that you're interested in. And again, it's putting up those blocks and walls. What I'm getting from Spirit is it is time to open up. Once you start letting those walls and those blocks down, it actually gives us that freedom, because we're really expressing ourselves. We're not feeling held back. We're not feeling like we can't say anything. Maybe perhaps for some of you, this is just a matter of being with that wrong person, because if somebody is preventing you or making you feel like you can't say what it is that you need to say, you may need to look at that partnership on that level. And that might be something that you need to be transparent about, whether to that partner itself and have that conversation with, or perhaps maybe this is just a perceived perspective. All right. It might not be the actual perspective. This could be just because your walls are up or your blocks are up. Maybe you're not feeling comfortable going towards that person, but that person is actually wanting you to have that vulnerability. And we have the return of Aphrodite, temple, birth of the goddess, guidance, goddess energy, and treating as sacred. Here's the interesting thing. What I'm getting with this, and again, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't say again. I don't think I said this before, but it doesn't matter about your gender, whether you're male or female, feminine, masculine. it doesn't matter. This is, this is just the energy of the cards. And when I get that return of Aphrodite, again, it's really about this love coming through. All right. Listen only to love. Where is your heart calling you? What is it that you feel that you should move towards? What is it that you feel that you should be able to express? It's like grab a hold of that god or that goddess energy and allow yourself to be brave. Allow yourself to be free. Don't hang on to some sort of shackles that are keeping you back. Allow yourself to open up. Listen to the love coming through. All right, this is going to move us forward in that situation or within some sort of issue. It's also going to allow us to allow. All right, it's hard for us to bring new things through when we're stuck in a position of feeling like we have to be on a defensive move all the time, and that's what Spirit is asking you to do. Let that guard down and allow it to come forth. So let's get some clarification and see what is coming. Clarification for Aries. Yeah, Ten of Swords, time to end it. Like I had said, there could be a situation that you're looking at. If somebody is putting you in a place or making you feel like you can't be free and express yourself, this could indicate that that might be time to end that particular partnership or that particular relationship, whatever it is. But I'm also getting here is it's time to end those blocks and barriers. It's time to end not being vulnerable. It's time to end not being able to open up to new energies. All right, time to move forward. Yeah, stop hanging on to old things. And again, however this relates, you might be hanging on to the energy of a person, or this could be the energy within you that's not allowing you to move forward. And we have look at that Judgment. Amazing. So that Judgment, this is like the reckoning day, all right? This Judgment is calling you to, again, look inside yourself. What parts can you release? What parts can you end? What parts can you open up to? Where can you be more vulnerable? Where can you be more open? Where can you be more loving within your life? It's time to really take a look at a situation. I'm feeling that for some of you, you are either in a current relationship or possibly you're looking for that relationship. And that Judgment is also asking you, are you judging people fairly around you as well? This isn't just about you. This could be possibly about others. And I feel like sometimes that Judgment card can also talk really much about that soul connections, soul relationships in some manner. So I do feel that it's time to really start opening up yourself. If you're looking for that particular person, okay, if you're wanting that particular soul relationship or soul mate to come through, if you're stuck in this this energy that things aren't moving, all right, maybe it's time to really take a good look within yourself. Take a look at the patterns or behaviors of others. And instead of looking at them harshly, allow yourself to open up, to move that energy. Allow yourself to open up to that vulnerability. And the Judgment also talks about forgiveness. It talks about letting things go. It talks about taking a step back and really looking at a situation, not from just your point of view, but almost like that external energy point of view, where you can look at both sides of a situation and go forward from there. All right, so let's get a couple of closing cards from the universe and see what is coming through. So closing cards from the universe for Aries, October 30th to November 6th. All right, and that one. All right, organization. Your plans are on target and everything will flow more smoothly if you add a little organization and discipline to your methods. The key to success is to allow your creativity to be gently guided by logic. Be open to asking for help from someone very intellectual or seek out a mentor. This is interesting because it's like that Emperor type of energy, but this also, we had that King of Swords coming through. All right. So that King of Swords, again, he can be very He can be very rigid. He can be very organized, and it almost feels like it's time to develop some of those qualities. It doesn't mean to change yourself in any way. It doesn't mean that you're taking away from the passion and that fire energy of who you are. But it might just be, look at, time to set up some sort of change in habit, maybe, perhaps. Are you all over the place in a day? Are you having trouble keeping organized? Because that can really close us off to vulnerability as well. Maybe it's time to set up some sort of, that discipline within yourself. And also, it does talk about the discipline to your methods, okay? And again, allow yourself to remain in that place of vulnerability instead of just picking and choosing the situations in which you're going to open up to. All right. Just because, you opened up once doesn't mean that you can't remain open. Allow yourself to open to all situations. And we have review and contemplation. So again, this is very much that judgment card. We've accomplished a great deal in your life and you have much to be proud of. Now it's time to decide what's next. As you contemplate the past and the present, you get a clear view on your divine life purpose. Don't be distracted by conventional thinking. Be the real you. Be authentic. We already had that judgment card coming through. We already had that card of open yourself to love. So Spirit is really talking here. We have that return to Aphrodite, be open to love, time to move forward, that judgment. And this is coming through for a reason. Okay, this isn't coincidence when these happen, you guys. For those of you that have watched your channel, you know how I work, and you know that when Spirit really has a message for you, Spirit really makes it known, because I'm either going to channel that message and it's going to show up in the cards, or we're going to get those repeated cards. So this is exactly what Spirit is asking of you at this time. So I truly hope that this has helped. If this reading has resonated with you, please click like, please share my videos, and please subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. We're going to be going live. Have an amazing day and take care. Many blessings.